1 year ago at Passover time, it was a very challenging time for me, and it probably was a lot more challenging for many whose loved ones were hospitalized, and unfortunately not everyone made it out of the COVID epidemic, which is still ongoing. However, last year, just around this time in New York, around Passover, is a time that was exceedingly challenging for the people of New York City. And I came out today. We've had a cold, chilly winter, and today feels like spring finally. And I remember almost every day of the week I would take a walk, starting from around Passover time. That was my only connection to the outside world other than Facebook and Zoom. I didn't see my own children for a few months because I didn't want them to have to travel during the height of COVID. I didn't see my community other than virtually for a few months, unless unfortunately it was for a funeral. It was a very challenging time. And although I don't necessarily want to feel like I should be sharing my private feelings with the world, but I will tell you that I think it's important that around the holiday this year of Pesach, that we should share our feelings about what it was like to be in New York City, the hardest hit city in the country, maybe even in the world at that point during COVID, particularly around that time, around Passover. And now a year later, although it's not perfect, although we still have to be cautious, hope springs eternal. And as they say, God who took us out of Egypt in the month of spring, Chodesh Aviv, the Kosharot, the time where beauty and nature begins to reemerge in the world, I can't help but thinking of the gratitude that I have and the hope that I have for this coming year. The vaccine that's now being widely distributed will be a game changer within 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months of getting back to the way things were. And when I say to the way things were, hopefully we will have learned a thing or two about our priorities, about our values, about who we are and what's important and what we want to do with our lives. So they may never be exactly the way things were. They'll be the way things should be, hopefully. And let's hope that this Passover we can process the hurt and the isolation and the anger and the fear, and for some, the actual illness or loss, and channel it into redemption, channel it into hope, channel it into springing forth for salvation and for a transformation that we hope will be the hallmark of what we're left with when this is all said and done. A mark of not just surviving, but learning to live and love again after this great devastation, learning to transform ourselves and to better ourselves and to grow despite the hardships, and to praise God for the opportunity to be here today.